Harry stayed in the hospital wing for a few more days, visited often by Ron, Hermione, and Hagrid, who brought him a huge bag of homemade rock cakes and sniffled a lot. Madame Pomfrey fussed over him, insisting he eat more chocolate and rest. But all Harry wanted was to get back to the Great Hall in time for the end-of-year feast. And when he finally did, it was unforgettable. The hall sparkled with decorations, floating candles casting golden light over every face. The long house tables were piled with food, but the mood at the Gryffindor table was unusually quiet. Slytherin had, once again, won the house cup. Their banners hung proudly from the ceiling in green and silver. Then Dumbledore stood. Ahem. Before we begin our feast, I have a few last-minute points to award. The hall quieted at once. First, to Mr. Ronald Weasley, for the best-played game of chess Hogwarts has seen in many years, 50 points. Cheers erupted from Gryffindor. Second, to Miss Hermione Granger, for cool logic in the face of fire, 50 points. Even louder cheers. Third, to Mr. Harry Potter, for pure nerve and outstanding courage, 60 points. The Gryffindor table went wild. They had pulled even with Slytherin. And finally, Dumbledore's voice dropped slightly, to Mr. Neville Longbottom, for standing up to his friends. It takes a great deal of bravery to stand up to our enemies, but just as much to stand up to our friends. 10 points. There was a stunned silence, and then an explosion of sound from the Gryffindor table. With Neville's 10 points, Gryffindor had overtaken Slytherin. Scarlet and gold banners burst into the air, replacing green and silver. The great hall shimmered with red light. Gryffindor had won the house cup. It was the best night of Harry's life. The next morning, trunks were packed, pets gathered, and goodbyes said. The Hogwarts Express waited with a cheerful whistle as students spilled onto the platform at Hogsmeade Station. Harry, Ron, and Hermione found a compartment together. Hedwig hooted sleepily in her cage as the train began to move, carrying them back toward the Muggle world. They spent the journey talking, laughing, and sharing Bertie Bott's every flavor beans. Ron unfortunately got a liver-flavored one. Outside the window, the landscape grew flatter and greener as they neared London. I still can't believe it's over, Hermione said quietly. It went by so fast. Ron grinned. I'm just glad we survived it. Harry looked out the window, the wind ruffling his hair. A strange mix of feelings swirled in his chest, joy, wonder, and something heavier. The weight of everything he'd learned. When the train finally pulled into King's Cross, the crowd bustled around them. Harry helped Ron lift his trunk, then turned to Hermione. See you in September, he said. Have a good summer, she smiled. As Harry and Hagrid had done that first day, he pushed his trolley toward the barrier between platforms 9 and 10 and passed through onto the Muggle side, where Uncle Vernon waited, looking just as unpleasant as ever. Before walking away, Ron called, "Have a good time with the Muggles." "I will," Harry said, grinning. But as he walked off with the Dursleys, pushing his cart, Hedwig's cage balanced on top, he felt something he'd never known before. He was going home, not to the Dursleys, but to a place he truly belonged. Because he had friends. Because he was a wizard. And because, for the first time in his life, Harry was no longer alone. Sparkles the End, Book 1 Sparkles.